What's up with you? It's Valorousman here. I hope you're doing well. Today I'm going to talk about experience. As you've seen in the title of the video, experience is everything. But why is that? Well, we're going to get to that. I actually have a lot to say about this. Again, obviously you're going to see the video is very long because at first I was like, well, I want to talk about like two examples of just experience, why experience is important. But I realized, well, I know more. I know a bit, I have a bit more information, I know better, so why wouldn't I try to explain it better? But here's the thing, you listen to the first 10 minutes, 15 minutes, you're gonna understand. I'm not gonna lie, like, well, nobody will do this to, tell you the last part of my video is not gonna be interesting. It's not like it's not interesting. I'm gonna talk as quick as possible when I get close to the ending. But yeah, this is the important part. The first part is the important part. I'm gonna, separate the videos always when it comes to, these types of videos, motivational, inspirational, educational, whatever you want to call it. Experience is everything in your life. Now, whether it's from others or from you. You experiencing first hand, second hand, third hand. Again, that's the end of the video. It's not very related, but the whole, point of this video is to explain to you for the first like 10 minutes or so what I'm going to talk about. What's the goal for you to understand? You should try to experience as much as you can, as long as you're like young, under 20, under 30. Obviously there are some certain things you cannot do until you're like rich enough, until you are old enough. You cannot drive when you're not old enough. You're not rich, you cannot travel everywhere, do anything you want, and so on. Let's talk about rich people and poor people first. I said I want to talk about experience, right? So I brought two examples. The first one is rich people and poor people. Now, what should they each experience? Maybe for your whole life, you're like 20 years old watching me. Your whole life your parents were not rich. Maybe you are yourself successful and you are rich. Maybe your parents were not rich ever. Maybe you were born in a very rich family. So first I'm going to talk about what rich people should experience, then poor people, and then we're going to get to the other examples and more explanations, which is not that necessary, as I just said. But if you don't want to watch that, I'm just going to separate it. You don't need to watch that. Okay, so rich people should experience being poor by fasting. Again, if you're not religious, you're probably gonna be like, well, I don't like you do that. Or if you're not religious, then hang out with poor people. Do you know why you should absolutely do that? To appreciate God's blessings. Simple as that. You think you are appreciating. You're like, oh my God, this is like every day you wake up. The thing is, the materialism, especially if you're born with so much of it, you get distracted. It's so difficult to stay focused. Every day I just appreciate everything I have, from just the food I eat. I don't know what I'm able to do. My body, I don't know, and so on. Where I'm living, whatever, and so on. So many things to appreciate. I actually have a little quote. I'm not gonna show it, but it's gonna take long to find it. It's almost impossible to thank God for all of the blessings you have, and it's only because there's so much of it that you might not, literally have time to appreciate every single one of it. At least try to appreciate those that you kind of use every day or can't think of every day, like your body, things you eat, what you wear, where you live, you're living. When I say body, I'm not talking about just general fitness or whatever. You have arms, you have eyes. I can see. Look, I'm wearing glasses. I'm not complaining. It's fine. I can still see. Without glasses, I can see too. And if you pay attention, this is the third video I'm making about like motivational videos, whatever. I'm wearing glasses because it's not that related, but I need to. I need to, instead of going like this, let me see what I wrote, like the little notes I have over here. Instead of doing that, I just wear glasses, less headache as well, so why wouldn't I? Okay, but still I appreciate that. Appreciate that you can hear and you can talk and so on. So when I say physicality, don't think about I have a fit body, I have a six pack. That's that's very basic of it. That's still again immaturity of you. Um, I mean, I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but like I've been like this for a little bit only, and I realized, yeah, that's wrong. You should understand when I say, when or anyone else is telling you, appreciate what you have, your body, whatever. Nobody's talking about just, I'm fit. I have a six pack, my arms are big. No, I have arms and legs that are working. I have eyes, ear, I can talk, whatever, see, and so on. Okay, now, if you're born in a rich family and never see what it's like to be poor, there's a few disadvantages to that. I just told you. First of all, it's just lack of motivation. Again, I said purpose is important, but in the beginning, you need a little bit of motivation, and then you turn it into purpose. But when you're born in a rich family, you always, in the back of your mind, subconsciously think, if I do this and I fail, it's fine, my parents can take care of me, I can do something else, and something else. You never take the risk fully, if you know what I mean. Like, you decide to do something new, but the problem is, your parents are rich, so you're gonna get back to it, and that is a big problem. The only thing you can do is just like me. I'm actually gonna make a video about this, by the way, right after this, or maybe not. This video is gonna be long. About how you can be successful when your parents are, financially well off, or something like that. Not even super rich, but they're fine, more than average, whatever. I was about to say this, and you never see what it's like to be poor. Chances are you will become a spoiled child, a spoiled child. I can't say that word, and that is, I believe, kind of like a mental disease, if you ask me. You have this, mindset of, um, you know, subconscious mindset of, backup plan. I fail, it's fine. Mom, give me some money. Dad, buy me this, whatever. It's a very dangerous thing, and a lot of parents. Now, I actually didn't want to talk about, parents' role, but I just realized I should. I wrote so much, but still, there's so much more coming into my mind. Let's talk about that as well, real quick. Parents' role before we talk about, what rich people should do. They should fast, or they should, hang out at least a little bit with poor people to understand how it's like to be poor, and then they can appreciate their life more. Let's talk about the parents now. Parents raising their kids, they're rich, they're like, I suffered, I don't want my kid to suffer, so I'm just gonna buy him or her a lot of expensive stuff, the newest iPhone, whatever, and so on. That's very terrible, because that kid is gonna grow up, if she or he just, goes into society, expects others to treat him like he's different, like he sees his friends, they don't have the same things he has, they don't have the same amount of money, same amount of, attention he gets, and so on, because, simply you're from a rich family. And although a lot of people might, be jealous of them, hate them, whatever, a lot of people will try to get close to them, so they treat them nicer, and they get that entitlement that they're just superior, you know what I mean? That's dangerous. The best thing the parents can do now, okay, I almost, I have a lot in my mind, I keep swaying away. I just beat around the bush a little bit, I'm sorry. Okay, I was talking about the parents' role. They should limit their kindness, let's just put it that way. It's not being mean, or just, not taking care of their kids properly. It's the best way you can, make sure your kids, it doesn't matter if it's a girl or a boy. For girls, it's fine to, spend a bit more money on them, because if anything, you shouldn't expect your daughter to be just working all day or whatever. That's not what, normally a woman should do. But besides that, it makes no difference when it comes to genders. A spoiled kid is a spoiled kid, and it's mostly their parents' fault. Yes, they're rich, but it is their choice. It's a kid. He or she never made any amount of money. He's like, I've seen so many kids kid's like 9 years old, the boy is like 9 years old, he wears diamond chains. I never had a diamond chain or never seen a diamond chain, like those big chains, or never touched them actually. I've seen like a couple, never touched them in my life, and this kid wears them every day, or diamond watches or whatever. Of course he's gonna be spoiled, entitled, and so on, and he's gonna lack motivation. Motivation leads to purpose. He's gonna lack all of it. It's so hard life for kids of rich people. And it's their parents' fault mostly. In their mind, they're like, I suffer, why would I let this kid suffer? Well, if you don't let him suffer, he's gonna grow up suffer. You suffered growing up, so now you're a grown up, you don't suffer because you're rich. But your kid will not suffer. Growing up is reversed. But when he's older, when he's 30, when he's 35, he can't do nothing. He simply cannot do nothing. He quickly gets disappointed, starts crying like a baby, expecting his dad or his mother to get him, the stuff he needs. Always. Doesn't respect others. People who work for them usually, those who are like very rich as well. There's always some people helping them with something, working for them. So that, sorry, stop recording. Okay, so that entitlement kind of destroys them. And really, there's not that much they can do about it, unless someone like me, I'm not saying I'm a victim, but I was aware of this when I was like 11, 12. So I decided to act like I'm poor on purpose. I couldn't care less like how much money my parents have. I just would act, I'm average or above average, something like that. Why would I lie to you? My parents are not poor. Okay, they're not. And yeah, the best thing I did was just, living like it's not that way. Yes, I'm using a good laptop, whatever. My parents gave me some money every month and I collected that money, whatever, to buy this. I understand that a lot of people cannot do that. A lot of people will not be able to record, 60 FPS, whatever, Full HD videos. But I'm talking about purpose, motivation again, and so on. I would not have that if I wouldn't do this when I was 10, 11, under 18, especially under 18. So I chose this path and I chose to, suffer. I'm like semi-suffering because I know there's money, but I decided to, work hard and not pay attention to money that my parents can provide for me. It's not like it's not around. Why would I lie to you? There's a lot around, but I act like I'm poor on purpose. I don't want to say act because it's not acting. I don't touch the money that much. You know what I'm saying? Like on purpose. Imagine it. It is there. I'm not, forcing myself to starve or whatever, something like that. No, I'm not like going crazy, whatever. But I'm careful what I'm doing. That's how I got, a bit more successful. I did not want to talk about this subject. I just realized I did not, think about parents' role and the kids' role when it comes to experience. And I don't know how I got to being spoiled from experience, whatever, but it's fine. I said, when you're born in a rich family, you're getting taken care of. It's like, it's not like you become a spoiled child, and it's like a mental disease, like a state of arrogance. That's what I, want to say, and so on, whatever you want to call it. And it is absolutely true. A big problem overall that cannot be cured easily until you're like hitting rock bottom or whatever you want to call it. I don't know what you call it. Like you lose money tremendously. Your parents are starting to lose money, whatever. That's when the actual what do I want to call it? That drive, that motivation again. Comes. I need to do something. That's like purpose. I need to do something because you're losing money, whatever. And that's the best thing that can happen to you. A little bit of up and down with your parents, money. If you're born in a rich family, that's the best thing. I feel like this should be a separate video itself. Just rich parents, poor parents. What's the difference? But it's fine. I think I'll explain enough on this video. There's not that much I would like to explain. Or like go bankrupt easily. That's what I wrote. So yeah, daddy's money is the worst money. Simple as that. That's the whole point of this. Daddy's money is the worst money. Destroys you. Especially with the fact that, you know, parents, I said daddy, but like mother, whatever, father, whatever. They love you, it's understandable. So they want to spend money on you. Like, we suffered, I don't want you to suffer, but I explained to you properly. Besides this, daddy's money is the worst money, and your parents were poor and they became rich. They don't want you to suffer, so they suffered and they don't suffer now, but they get you to not suffer, and then when you grow up, you suffer. So pay attention to these two things that I said. They're very important. The best thing you can do as a kid, born in a rich family, whatever, you're just spending time doing nothing, not exercising, not making money, not thinking about the job, life. My parents can take care of me, whatever. Yeah, if you really care about yourself, act like your parents are not rich. Don't act like, don't wear anything. You're not gonna wear anything nice. You're gonna starve. Just eat 2 meals, whatever. No, don't do that. Don't overspend. Don't get the newest iPhone, newest technology that comes out, whatever. Best, most expensive clothes and so on. But yeah, and don't wear jewelry. I don't know how to say that word. Honestly, I'm sorry. Okay, enough with the rich people. Now let's get to poor people. Now, poor people, what do they should experience to try to become better, try to get motivated basically. Again, I don't believe in motivation that much. It's like purpose. You have purpose is unlimited motivation. It's like undergroup, if you ask me. Okay, what should poor people experience? They should experience what it's like being rich. The opposite of what rich people should experience. Now, how is that happening then? How should a poor person experience being rich? You don't need to actually be rich or spend money, lose anything, any saves you have. You don't need to do that. I'm talking about, it's kind of like understanding what it's like. I have some examples I'm going to read. There's just many, so I'm just going to read them from them. Like you go to expensive stores. You don't need to buy anything. You don't need to even go to the store. You can just, window shop. It's like you just look, you don't buy. Something like that. That's the expression, by the way. Yeah, that's the best thing that you can do. Like, look, I thought this product that I bought, whatever it is, clothes, I don't know, phones, whatever. I thought it was so amazing. Look how more, perfectly this is, or how advanced this is. It should encourage you, not make you jealous or sad or angry. It should make you angry a little bit that you're just poor and you're not, trying to, get your life together, work harder, and so on. But in general, it's just like a little bit of motivation, whatever. It's good to be angry and then a bit motivated at the same time. Not sad or jealous that others can easily buy and you can. These two are dangerous, and the other two, getting a bit angry and a bit angry. Okay, not just punching the windows, whatever they try to steal something. No. So getting a bit angry and then motivated. Hopefully they get you to a purpose. And the other thing is going sad, jealous. No, they're just gonna bring you down. That's what they're gonna do. These two, traits. Jealousy is just terrible, anyways. It's one of those, things you should actually get rid of as soon as possible. Doesn't matter if you're rich, poor, insecure, whatever. You know what? I want to talk about insecurity a little bit. I just realized it's a good topic to talk about. How you think you're just not good enough. Well, you absolutely are. And all you need is just, just understanding a few things, which I will talk about. Just realize why did I not ever, try to talk about this? I don't know. I just wrote it. I'm going to talk about it later. You see, that's how my mind goes. I think about 5 different things. I wrote what I want to say, and I reviewed it so many times. And when I start talking, I realize, oh my God, there's 5 other things I wanted to talk about. But yeah, these are the examples. Go to expensive stores and check out expensive, clothes, watches, cars, whatever, right? Big houses and so on. So this way you know what it's like being rich, right? You don't need to buy anything. Just as I just said, window shop, to some degree. And now you're motivated to improve your life. I hope you're not sad or jealous. I said that's the worst thing you can do. A little bit angry, a little bit motivated. I mean, a lot motivated, not a little bit. That anger should help you motivate. So just anger helping you tingling your motivation, and the motivation tingling your purpose. And then you found out what you want to do in life, something like that. You understand what I'm saying? So, when I mentioned poor people should experience, I used bad examples. I did not mean you should be materialistic, okay? That's not what I meant. All I meant was to generally avoid laziness and work hard to take care of yourself and others in need. So be encouraged and angry and use that as a fuel to be motivated to find your purpose in life and become a better and positive person. That's all I meant. And I actually slightly mentioned this in the later parts of this video, but I thought it was not good enough, so that's why I just made this quick little clip. So enjoy the continuation. Buy your normal clothes. I mean, not that cheap that it's gonna, after you wash it once, it's gonna, fade away, their colors, whatever. No, not that. A fairly, expensive, and spend the rest of the money helping others. You know what I'm saying? Helping people helping the people you know, and so on. This is the example. I'm not gonna keep, interrupting the example. Imagine being raised in a farm, never seeing a Ferrari, some motorcycles and trucks, that's what you drive, whatever, farming equipment, and so forth. You never know what the other side of the wall has, so bother yourself to do some research or travel a little bit to understand how the world works. That's how you cannot be like, my purpose is to, be successful and rich. You don't know what it's like being rich. So how are you gonna, talk about purpose and motivation and working hard? You wanna work hard to have some more money to do what? Build a big house and that's it? You should do your research and understand. I'm not talking about wasting money though. Don't get me wrong. There's so much to life when you have at least a little bit. I'm not talking about being super rich. When you go hard than a certain amount, life's different. It's not. I'm not saying I know what it's like though, that much. My second example is about dating, relationships, boys and girls, whatever. So the first example about experience was about being rich or poor. What should these two types of people do to become a better version of themselves? Poor people see what it's like to be poor, to be rich. Rich people do the opposite. And rich people's parents should take care of their kids. In what way? Being careful. Not overspending on our kids, not buying them everything they want, and so on. Okay, now let's talk about boys and girls. How do you know if a girl or a guy is for you, like they're the right one for you, when you don't even know what you want? You really think you know what you want? I'm talking, about this especially for those who are like very young, under 20, 22. Even 25, something like that. Because a lot of people, they get old, like 25, 26, they still have not talked to like that many guys or girls. So they don't know that much about what they really want. Because it doesn't matter what your parents tell you, what your friends tell you. You need to see that there are some personality traits, there are some, things that you cannot handle. Like you're not having it. Simple as that. And maybe you're being mature, maybe not, but all in all, I just want to say this. All of you youngsters, right, think about physicality when it comes to, your relationships, like who you want to choose. And I'm not talking about like, in a, well, how do I say, like in a sexual way or whatever. No, when I say physicality, I'm just talking about, you know what? I kind of am. I just said youngster, so like how a person's face looks, whatever. That's the first thing. That's true. That's true. That's the first thing you see because it's visual. You see physically, whatever. Oh my god. First thing you see visually, whatever. Sorry. Okay. Just want to put my hands near my desk. That's true. But as soon as you start talking, you say hello, whatever. Immediately you're gonna understand how the person is. But that's a whole another conversation, how to talk to people, whatever. I'm not gonna get there. I'm not gonna talk about it later as well. I will not. I'm not a dating coach, okay? It's not like I've dated 200 people, but yeah, whatever. So girls say they want a tall, masculine guy, rich guy, whatever. We all heard it, like all the examples, like personality traits, physical traits, financially, whatever, well off, and so on, right? And guys want a hot girls. Guys want a hot girl. Other guys want. Kind of always have been this way, understandable, and so on. I'm not gonna again explain that much for these examples. I just want to give you the main reason I'm talking about this. But trust me, after getting your heart broken a few times, even once is enough sometimes. Because if you really like this person, like this man or woman, and you get your heart broken by those beautiful girls or attractive guys, that's when you realize looks don't really matter at all. Yeah, she looked good. She still looked good when she broke her heart though. Or he, I don't know, stopped talking to you or whatever, I don't know. No difference again. I'm just talking about dating, guys and girls, no difference. This is for everyone. So now you judge people less by their looks. Simple as that. Now you realize now you're not immature young boy or young girl. I just want to say youngster, how about that? You're not. If you have not learned your lesson, you're gonna get hurt again and again. But if you do not learn it soon enough, you're gonna be 25, 26, 30 years old. You're too old now. But for guys, it's different. Like they get older. Some girls, a lot of girls will like them more. But again, I'm just talking about not wasting your time, not wasting your life. That's what matters. Yeah, let me experience 10 more times, get my heart broken 10 more times, and then have coping mechanism of just smoking, drinking, doing drugs. No, that's not it. Get your heart broken once, be sad for a couple of months. That rhymed though. And yeah, move on, but understand that you probably, should think about, the next time you're talking to someone. Yes, he kind of looks good, attractive, whatever. She kind of looks hot. But then start talking and then imagine like you don't really see her face. You know what I'm saying? You don't see her body, if you know what I mean. Like, if you imagine this, you're not gonna be shy. First of all, again, I'm not a dating, coach, whatever. You're not gonna get shy, nervous, whatever. Yeah, you're not gonna get to those levels. That's the first thing. Second of all, you're gonna pay attention to her personality much sooner than you can, do it after being with her for 3 months, hanging out, whatever, dating, whatever. First 3 minutes, 5 minutes, you're gonna understand what type of, person he or she is. Simple as that. So don't waste your life. That's the whole point. Don't waste your life. Experience is everything. I know that's the title of the video, but don't waste your life. Learn your lesson the first time. Simple as that. Because you want to waste your time again, and some people have bad coping mechanisms. You're just, no offense, kind of weak. Again, immature youngsters. I'm not saying like I'm 50 years old, okay? But I'm just saying youngster, like people who are under 18, 20, something like that. I'm 20, by the way. Technically, I'm not that old. Sorry. Technically, I'm not that old, but how do I say it? My mind is old. I know how to say it. Let's just say I have an old soul, something like that. Yeah, very old, by the way, very old. But there's something else I just remember to mention. I said, you think this person is attractive, and then you get your heart broken. You're like, okay, I'm not gonna pay attention to the looks, but remember this little part as well. This little part really is important. Maybe they had a bad week. Simple as that. Something bad happened to them, to someone else they care about. Financially, physically, whatever. Somebody passed away, whatever. Of course they're gonna be sad, upset, whatever. They're gonna be aggressive a little bit when you talk to them, passive aggressive, whatever. They don't want to hang out, whatever. Understandable. So some people don't want to mention it for some reason. They keep it to themselves. I don't understand why, but maybe that's a sign of weakness. If you let others know something bad happened to someone they know. I don't understand, but it's whatever. But that doesn't mean that person is not a good person, is not an amazing person. Maybe even amazing for like 2 months, and then you're like, this girl changed after 2 months. No, you're wrong. Maybe something happened. She doesn't want to talk about it as well. And she's kind of passive aggressive, sad, whatever. She's like depressed, whatever. Doesn't want to talk to you. Oh, she changed face, whatever. No, don't judge too quickly. That's important too. Yes, I said, find out if, don't pay attention to the looks, pay attention to how the person really is, because you're going to waste your time and life. But also pay attention that, if she always have been good, others with her other friends as well, and then she starts to look a bit depressed or whatever, yeah, it's understandable. Maybe something happened. Why would I lie to you? I'm kind of sometimes, I didn't care, didn't care about this that much, but yeah, I was wrong. So pay attention to that as well. My camera's battery is dying, so I have to talk quicker. There are so many other examples, but just pay attention to this little thing. Go out there when you're young, especially under 18, 19, 20. Not under 18, you don't need to do that. You don't need to date anyone under 18. You're just a kid, wasting time. You think, oh, my heart got broken. You're a kid, you don't understand what feelings are that much anyways. You understand what I'm saying? So, between 18 to 20, 21, go out there, get your heart broken a bunch of times, or maybe one time if you're, strong enough to understand what just happened, think on your mind what really, you went through, they went through, what was the problem, or what were the problems, identify it, solve it, make sure you better yourself and choose the better person next time, because you're more careful now. And when you do that, you know who to, let to be in your life, and you're just good forever. You're just more careful, you're just good forever. And when you do that, hopefully you can find someone you can, eventually, get married, have your kids with, and just have a happy ending, whatever you want to call it. Alright, I would like to mention this. I have to talk a bit quicker because my camera battery is dying. I would like to mention this. You don't need to sleep with anyone to understand, what your preferences are as a guy or girl. You never need to. So, yeah, you don't need to, just, be sinful. Just, sleeping with anyone before marriage. Just to understand your preferences. That's not something important at all. Like, I don't want to say it in a, in a bad way, but like, you know what? I'm just gonna say it anyways. They're just two real genders. Let's just put it that way, and that's it. Simple as that. So there's nothing to be wondering about. Like, I want to experience before marriage. Shut up. You're just being a loser. Simple as that. You don't need to do that to know what type of guy or girl you like. Okay. There are many other examples, but I talked about relationships and money for now. Apply this fact to every aspect of your life, and become a better version of yourself in every aspect. So pay attention, you identify, and then become better. Try to fix it, fight the problems. And remember, learning from others' experiences is very important. It means saving time, which is diamond. Time is diamond. Time is not money or gold, as they say. No, time is diamond. That's what I want to say. And unnecessary hurt. Important. That's the most important part. I mean, traumas, hurt, pain are good, but unnecessary, repeated is not. And saving time is the most important thing. So, but here's the thing, though. As I want to say, like some arrogant people, they need to get hurt to learn. Some people, like, their coping mechanism is I need to get, I need to keep doing it until I get hurt deeply, and then they learn their lesson. Hopefully, they learn their lesson. I call it coping mechanism, but maybe it's not absolutely true, but that's what I believe at least. I recommend reading books. Now, there are the examples I want to talk about, and learning from successful people around you or online, like watching, this guy is a millionaire, whatever. They did an interview, they're telling you their experiences, like with finances. Okay, we talked about experience, money, whatever, rich people, poor people, relationships. You can watch them, not that much. Don't spend your whole life on it. Experiencing yourself is important too. Before, like, you're 20, 21, getting heartbroken. That is important. That was an example. That should happen. If you're like 25 and you experience that, you wasted 5-6 years in the dating game. Simple as that. So you read books, learn from successful people online, or you see them in person, whatever. To do what? To become more experienced without experiencing. Still, that doesn't mean you shouldn't experience certain things in your life on your own. Get hurt, learn, identify the problems, become better. So becoming more experienced without experiencing, actually, by learning, that's different. Type of experience. That's an experience too. Now you just got an experience of you just got experience from reading books, or watching a video online of someone doing certain things, whatever. You pay attention to your life and detect your problems and successes. I mean, I just said identify the problem, identify the problem, solve it, fight it, whatever. It's your job to do it, not mine. Okay, I'm not your dad, I'm not your relative. Consider me like a coach, a brother, whatever. I mean, I did this, but like, consider me a coach, a brother, whatever. And I'm just telling you the truth. Just consider me a guy who's a man who is telling you the truth. Simple as that. So I cannot meet every single person that I'm trying to see that I just scold them into becoming a better person. No, I'm just telling you. You need to understand the examples I just gave you and apply it to your life. That's the most important part. I don't know what's going on in your life. I don't know how old you are and so on. Genders, whatever. Alright, I'm back. Well, my camera battery died. I had to just, get charging. I lost the, momentum a little bit. So let's get back to it. Okay, now some things you don't need and shouldn't experience at all. We talked about experience is everything. Well, yes, it's everything. Like, you should and shouldn't. It's important. Okay, now we're gonna talk about the examples. Things like doing drugs, having intercourse before marriage, smoking, drinking alcohol, depends on the religion for that one, drinking alcohol, and so on. For many of these, doing it even once is enough to mess up your life. First of all, you just sinned. You just committed sin. And second of all, the problem is you're probably gonna do it more and more. You're gonna do it again. So again, you go down the rabbit hole, and before you know it, you just wasted a lot of your time trying to get out of it. So the best decision you can ever make is trying to get rid of these bad habits you have before you were 18, 19, 20, something like that. Let's just say before 20. Before 18 is the optimal, is the best. Maybe you're not 18 anymore, you're 21, you're watching this, it's fine. Still, don't waste time. Time is diamond, I always say that. Sorry. Time is diamond, I always say that. Don't waste time, simple as that. So, and here's one thing I would like to mention. When you start, having bad habits, and we just continue to do so, maybe you're like, this is like, when I get sad, I do this, like a coping mechanism, a bad habit coping mechanism. That's very dangerous, because every time that single thing happens, sometimes some people find excuses, like they try to get in an argument or something, to get sad, to get mad. They like, whenever I'm mad, I smoke. Whenever I'm sad, I drink. You're making excuses. That's it. Simple as that. You have a bad habit, get rid of it. Simple as that. You're sad, I don't know, just sit down and be sad a little bit. You don't need to act upon it. Do some push-ups, I guess. I don't know. If you want to act, you don't need to smoke. Nothing's gonna come out of you're sad, you just smoked, just drank alcohol, and you just wake up after, or whatever. You just threw up a little bit, I guess. I mean, it's not like I've done it, like, whatever. Like I know so much. So yeah, the whole point is you get older, and here's a problem that is going to rise. The fact that it's going to be more difficult. The older you get, it's going to be more difficult. Basically, the older you get, it just applies for everything. The older you get, it's harder to change in any way. Like physically, you want to get in shape, it's so hard. Your body is weaker, it's so hard to get in shape. So if you've always been in shape, easy now. If you always had good habits, easy. Your mind is still fresh. Your body is fresh. Everything about you is fresh. You're literally young. As I just said, it applies to everything. What I meant is this. It applies to everything you say, you do, believe, hear, and so forth. So, starting young is the key. Alright? That's the whole point. As young as possible. So, this is why I love posting video games. I just made a video where I post video games. And I don't play video games all day, and I only play when I'm recording. Yes, I sometimes have to do a bit of research, whatever research. Alright, so that was beating around the bush a little bit, I know. So, starting young is the key, as I just said. Keep and find good habits before 18. If you're not 18 anymore, I'm gonna talk about that as well. But wait, if you're under 18 watching. So, find them and keep them. If you have some, keep them. If you don't understand what good habits you should have for each areas of your life, I'm just going to quickly tell you. I did not write it, I just realized. And I'm just going to say this before giving you the examples for different areas. Just there are examples and not every single thing you need, because I'm just thinking of it off the top, something like that, just right now, while identifying your lacking areas in life. Simple as that. So you see the good parts, you see the good parts about you, and you try to do even better by having more good habits in your life, and you identify the problems, the lackings you have, the things you lack in your life, physically, personally, like your personality too. Before 18 can change super easily, become a terrible person or an amazing person everyone loves to talk to, hang out with, and so on. Just like being physically weak, financial issues, and etc. I just give you a few examples. Then fighting it accordingly. Okay, now that fighting is just a whole another video, but I'm gonna explain that as quick as possible. But I wanted to give you examples for the good habits you should have before 18. All right. Now for physicality, I obviously recommend exercising, simple as that, but not that simple. There are many sports a lot of people love, but there is no cardio in it. You know what I'm saying? Like table tennis, I don't know. So many others. I'm about to make a video about why martial arts, boxing and martial arts are the best things you can ever, experience, especially as a man. It doesn't matter, even women. I know a bunch of women doing that. There's no difference really. I'm not saying they can be great fighters or they're terrible fighters, whatever. But yeah, find a sport that has cardio while doing something like swimming, and I don't know, if you love table tennis, you like even tennis, whatever. Do something that has cardio, and do something that gives you an advantage in life. Maybe you can do both. As I just said, MMA and boxing. I want to make a video, 11 benefits. Maybe I just can think about more ideas for that. I have not made the video yet. 11 benefits of boxing. That's the video. Okay, so that's physical. For your emotional, sorry. That is way too specific. I'm not gonna go for that. I'm just gonna go for the things you can do, physically for yourself, and just learning things in the physical world. I'm not gonna go for your mind, mental, the spiritual, habits like praying. Let's just say praying. Focusing, trying to focus on something, whatever discipline, whatever purpose, whatever. That's again, I'm not gonna talk about that. It's gonna take way too much time. Second thing is, now there's no order, by the way. I'm just chronically, whatever. I don't know how you say it. I don't know how you say that word. Chronically in order, whatever. Okay, the second thing. Learn a language, a foreign language. It helps your brain, if anything, besides helping you communicate with the world, with other people. English is not my mother tongue. I mess up. I literally, I can't even say this word. I just messed up, twice in the past. Again, you see, I just made 3 mistakes in the past like 10 seconds. I just made 3 mistakes. So learn a foreign language. You don't need to be super amazing at it. As a matter of fact, I believe it's okay to learn 3 foreign languages. You're not super amazing at it. Like, I've been studying English for like 13, 14 years. Still, I make so many mistakes. I still don't use so many, words I could use. I know, but, when I'm talking, it just doesn't cross my mind to use those words. And then later on, I'm like, oh wow, I pronounced these words wrong, spelling, I forgot to use these amazing words, expressions, idioms I knew, and so on. I mean, idioms are informal, I know, but anyways, this is not a interview. I'm not wearing suit, whatever. What else? Not that it doesn't. It's not that necessary, but probably I could say an instrument. I tried to learn how to play piano like 5 times. It's not for me. It's not for some people. Simple as that. You can't force it. You really cannot. I wanted to do it, like my parents wanted me to do it. I wanted to genuinely do it too, but I just got bored. I couldn't do it. But these are things I can just remember for now. It's not like I was trying to talk about it anyways. But yeah, I'm expecting you. As I just said like twice. I think I said it 3 times up until now. It's gonna be the 4th time telling you. It's on you. I'm not your family member or whatever. You just listen to me. You don't need to listen to me. But if you want to, if you think I'm right, you should scrutinize your life. Scrutinize, something like that. My English, man. Scrutinize your life, and then identify the problems you have in your life. Simple as that. And if you don't want to get discouraged again, like something like that, like lose motivation, whatever, always consider the good habits, good achievements you had in your life. If you never had any, just don't think about what you can, you cannot do. Do a couple of things, accomplish a couple of things, not super big stuff, from the get-go. And now you just have that, subconscious confidence. That's how successful people are. They always talk about like, I did these 7 things. Not like super great stuff. They're like, I can do backflips, I can do this, I can do that, I can speak 2 different foreign languages, I can play 2 instruments. Everybody has a couple. All those successful people you see, they always have some irrelevant to what they're doing. It's just because they love accomplishments, so they get some from everywhere they can, even though there's some some of them are just very small, unimportant. But the whole point of just motivation is it should be subconscious. I accomplished so much, so I can do more. Simple as that. When I said identify your problems, like physically weak, you're financially, you have financial issues, you're not financially well off, whatever. I said fighting it accordingly. What did I mean by fighting it? Well, how are you gonna fight it? Again, that can be a separate video, but I'll try to explain as quick as possible. You know what? I actually never thought about it because I never got to the point like I don't have motivation or whatever. I just simply know my purpose, and I know. Let me just explain what I believe, because I did not think about this beforehand. When I do stuff, I'm just going to tell you how I do stuff. When I want to do anything, I'm like, well, who else is going to do it for me then, if I'm not doing it? So if I wake up every day and I don't do it, and there is like 4 things on my phone, I have a notepad and I wrote them, just like I wrote little notes for this, little bit of this video, motivational video, whatever, that I have not done for like 4-5 months. So what's up with that then? Why am I not doing it? Yes, I'm working so hard, but still I'm being lazy at the same time sometimes. But that's fine. We're humans. It's fine. You don't need to be 100% all the time. It's not impossible or super difficult, but sometimes you need rest. Yes, you see those billionaires, whatever, they say they work every day for like a decade. They worked every day for like a decade, whatever. I don't care. You don't need to be a billionaire to be successful or happy, anything. And here's the thing about them. They have not accomplished everything. Those billionaires, whatever, they're fat, they're skinny, or they're just out of shape. They're not fit. They have money, guess what? They can pay for their heart diseases, but guess what? If they would exercise, they would not have any heart diseases. So what's the point of you making billions then, when you're gonna die much sooner than someone who exercises and has millions instead of billions? That's why you don't need that much money. As I just said, after a certain point, you don't need that much money, so don't kill yourself every day. I want to work for a decade, whatever. You don't need to do that. Just, I don't know, help others, pray, I don't know. There's a lot you can do in life. Besides, try to make more money to become a billionaire or whatever. There's nothing you can accomplish from that. Simply nothing. After a certain point, there's nothing. I'm losing my voice, by the way. Now, here comes the part that I said is not that relevant. So, if you've watched up until now, I really appreciate you. Make sure you like the video, because if you enjoyed it and you like the video, why do I say like that? You basically help me promote my video so others can enjoy just like you did. Others can learn just like you did. I would really appreciate that. If you want to subscribe as well, I guess you can do that as well. Again, it's like indirectly helping me. I appreciate that. I'm just gonna, have a little bit of outro, whatever, right here, because from this part, it's just like, it's not from me, okay? That's all I'm trying to say. This part is not from me, this little part. So, I guess, thank God for all blessings. Take care of yourselves, and peace will be upon you. I'm not gonna say goodbye. Let's get into it now. When it comes to experience, it's not from me, this part. Like, it's like a page or whatever. Many types of experience exist. Now, I don't want to talk about this, right? But I just, came across it. I decided to, do a bit of research instead of thinking on my own all the time. Maybe I can get inspired. I'm just going to explain different types of experiences that exist. I'm just going to explain as quick as possible. So there's physical experience, mental, emotional, spiritual or religious, social, virtual, or simulated. There's saying like virtual, VR, simply, yeah. And there are two factors for experience: immediacy of experience and subjectivity of experience. I'm gonna get to them very quickly. So, the first one, there's nothing to talk about, different types of experiences when it comes to, physical experiences. There's nothing really to talk about. Just explain like, getting in shape, whatever. So I believe, like I already talked about it. It's very obvious as well. There's nothing too complicated to talk about it. You already know. I'm not gonna waste your time. But I'd like to mention these things for the other ones. So physical experience is obvious, as I just said. Mental. I'm not gonna keep saying experience. Mental is just obvious. Mental experience is thoughts you have. Imagination, thoughts, and memories, emotions as well. So there's nothing, really to talk about it. I'm just gonna explain to you, different. I just told you, check out every aspect of your life, right? So these are the different aspects you can think about. Physical, again, make sure you take care of your face. I don't know, washing your face, whatever, body, exercising, and so on. And now mental is just, make sure you watch out what you let in your brain, and you cannot change the memories though. That's the problem. But the imaginations, the emotions you have control over it. And I made a video about emotions, how to control your emotions to become a man. And I did not say woman. I did not mention woman because that's in the like biology, whatever. To be emotional, it's like women are. Something happens, emotion, then logic. Men, something happens, then logic, then logic, then emotion. Yeah, it's like these three steps. Something occurs or pops up, whatever. Logic, emotion, but for women it's just emotion, logic. So I cannot say woman should not be emotional. A woman who's not emotional, as a matter of fact, she's kind of like, she's not staying true to her femininity, something like that. Yeah, let's just put it that way. It's not that relatable. So, okay, enough with mental. Emotional experience. I just said it, mental, and I'm talking about emotional now. So what is this about? It's just simply as that emotional experience, sorry, yes, emotional experience is a subgroup of mental experience. I just mentioned, like in mental experience, emotions, memories, imagination, you have thoughts, whatever. Nothing more to talk about it, honestly. I just made a video about it, controlling emotions, what emotional, whatever it is, experience, whatever. I think I indirectly talked about the experiences as well on that video. So go watch that video. I'm just gonna point my finger like this, that little white thing pops up. I don't know what it's called. Now let's get to spiritual or religious experience. I think it's like obvious and not at the same time. Like when you're praying, it's mostly obvious. Like when it comes to, you have this, you have this feeling you want to pray now. Or when you pray, you have this, whatever feeling. Or after you pray. You know what I'm saying? It happens to some people, sometimes not. Sometimes people do it just like a mandatory thing. But it's fine, it's still better than nothing. It still has its small effects, not to the fullest, obviously. Or seeing signs you deserve. I wrote this, seeing signs you deserve and you should see, and so on. Now, what do I mean by that? Seeing signs you deserve and should see. Well, let's just say some people, they deserve to know more, to understand more, to help others more. Yeah, I don't want to talk about this anymore because, again, I said, you deserve to know more, Allah will let you know more. Yeah, let's just put it that way. Now, virtual experiences or, what did I say? I said, or simulations, simulated, whatever. It's just VR, virtual reality. So simple as that. So nothing crazy about it, to talk about it as well. So we come to the last two parts, immediacy of experience and subjectivity of experiences. Now immediacy, what is that? It's very simple. I'm just going to explain it as quick as possible. First hand, second hand, and third hand experience. First hand is you experience it yourself. You watch it, you hear it, simple as that. You watch it or you hear it. You just, got to experience it from first hand, or it happens to you, like it's physical again, emotional, spiritual. So besides that, it's first hand. And any type of experience it is first hand. It's the best one, honestly. Because some people don't like to believe what others say. It's understandable. Some people are not trustworthy. It's good that you think that way. Not all people are trustworthy. I can't say that word. Now, second hand is recordings, writings, videos. I don't know. Again, recordings is just videos, pictures, whatever, all of that, and so on. So third hand is just gossip and rumor. It's the worst one. Okay. Basically, hearing things from a third party. Simple as that. But it's the worst one because it's very hard to trust what they say. But writings, like they publish a book or there's a video, there's the evidence. It's like an evidence. But videos are the recordings basically are the best ones. Again, with AI and everything, it's just very hard to believe nowadays. Things you see more than ever, and it's the worst thing ever, if you ask me. I believe in like 5-6 years, everyone's gonna see how dangerous AI is. It's just the start of it. Just like how when I was a kid, internet just started to social medias came around, whatever, and you see how garbage it is, but still, even social media is not as dangerous as AI, if you ask me. Now you're gonna see, I don't need to explain, you're gonna see in like 5 years or so, how dangerous it's gonna get. So many companies are gonna be made, they already made companies, so many of them. But yeah, again, not that related, but I just want to say it's very dangerous. People think it's exciting, it's not, if you ask me. Okay, now we talked about immediacy, like first time, whatever. Now subjectivity of experiences mean that although we have the same experiences sometimes, almost the exact same way, almost, because maybe I was a younger guy, you were older, whatever, when something happened to me, same thing, but we were older, I'm younger or you're older, we're gonna or take from that event or conclusions, because of our minds are different, because of our minds being different, it's gonna differ. Because we're not the same, and many factors like age, gender, maturity, and other experiences you had before, what just happened to you in any way. Again, so many different types of experiences there are. And so on, change our perception to good and bad experiences that happen to us on a daily basis. I guess that's it for this video. If you really enjoy what I'm doing, the best way you can support me is just, helping others, because that's the whole point of this video, helping others. You can indirectly help others, subscribing, liking the video, and anything else you want to do. I really appreciate it. So, thank God for all blessings, take care of yourselves, and peace will be upon you. Goodbye. What should I do? Okay. If you enjoyed this video, watch this as well, or check this playlist or video, and don't forget to subscribe. Take care and goodbye.